I'm Lorraine Morris.
I'm Ken Morris.
We're here at Poplar Grove, Illinois, and we restore Cessna 120s and 140s.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
Do we see ourselves as 140 gurus? I used to think so, but the more I learn, the less I know.
I think that's very true. We feel like I have a handle on everything, and then I'll find out something else and kind of go, oh, I guess I didn't know everything after all. I get that feeling a lot.
And we consider it a very wonderful airplane. I consider the 140 and the 140A especially probably the best two-place post-war trainer built, honestly do. When I was 13, my dad bought a 140A, and that's what I learned to fly in. I soloed it on my 16th birthday and got my license in it at 17. And you'll notice that I didn't say on my birthday because I didn't get off my butt and take the written in time, so I was about 4 months late, but I was still 17. And the same was true with the commercial. I got my commercial in it when I was 18, but a little further down the 18. And my CFI expired like a dummy. I let it go about 4 different times, and I took 4 different check rides in that airplane for my CFI renewal. And we had 1 son learn to fly in it and 2 nephews learn to fly in it. And
a couple other friends.
Got my practical for my A&P, was working on it. But it's been in the family. There's a lot of times that it should have been gone. There were a lot of lonely years that sat outside in the field. So after we got married and had enough place to put it and everything, I wanted to restore it. So that was I guess we did the other one first, and then we did Charlie second. It's a great airplane. We just started doing what we found a couple of basket case airplanes to make one airplane out of, and it went from there.
Because we thought we knew it all. We knew all about them because we had one. And so we thought, oh, we can fix one up. Yeah. And quickly learned we didn't know all we thought we knew. And that's kind of what started it. We started by buying a collection of parts, knowing we were going to try to make an airplane out of it. Quickly discovered we were missing a lot of parts and had to buy a whole nother group of parts. And together we got it pretty much together. We were putting it together for the final phase at the airport and discovered we had 2 left flaps and 2 right jury struts.
After they were painted.
After they were painted and ready to go together.
So that was that's where the learning began. And then to finish it, we couldn't afford an engine or anything firewall forward, so we stole one off of my own airplane so we could take it to Oshkosh and sell it, so we'd have some money to get an engine put together for my airplane. It was a borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but it worked.
We never kept track of how many total restorations we did. We've probably done 10 to 15 total restorations, but we do get people that call us up and want a whole new interior and replace the skylights and replace all the windows and all the glass. So we've done a lot of partial work or partial interiors. It kind of started focusing just on the 120s and 140s because that's what we felt we knew. We started accumulating parts and being able to fix things, and then we started having something made so that we could repair something that was hard to repair. And along the way we've done some other stuff, but we keep coming back to the 120s and 140s because they're pretty simple. They are a lot of parts. You don't realize how many parts until you get it apart and start looking at them scattered around the floor. But you still have smaller number of parts than a stagger wing or something like that. I think one of the neat things that we like to be able to say when we get done with having restored an airplane is that it's not brand new because it's an old airplane, but we've gone through and cleaned everything. We've disassembled every pulley, generally, every bracket, cleaned them, lubed them, gone under the floorboards where the mice like to make their little homes, power washed the whole thing. We've really cleaned it up, lightened it up a lot because we've gotten rid of generally 10 to 15 pounds of crud in the bottom.
She's certainly not afraid to get her hands dirty, so if there's any stripping, airplane stripping, she does that and keeps that cleaned up. And I do Probably I do the engine work and the heavy lifting as far as the sheet metal work, and she helps where we need two of us, and it works out pretty good.
So I've always been a sewer my whole life, and so when we bought the first airplane that we restored, I volunteered to do the headliner and the seats, and I used my mother's old antique Singer sewing machine and probably burned the motor up in it, but it worked pretty good, and people started finding out that I could do it, and they would call me up and ask me to do it. And I started doing it for a while by just putting an ad in the 140 newsletter, and people would say they needed something in these colors, and I could make up a plain one and send it to them in the mail. And then it got to where I could start making my own patterns and playing with the foam. There's a supplier near us here, and I can get certified foam. I can have any fabrics that we're wanting to use that aren't already certified, I can have them burn certified. And so we started going that way. They all seem to be bigger once we get them. We all think, oh, it's just going to be, we're going to put the cleans to it.
Yeah, there's some that, and we've done that in the past where we thought that, you know, well, the wings are fine. Maybe not. We need to
then you get into
look
them
a little closer.
And you get into them and you say, you know, we're at this point and our name's going to be on it. We can't let it go, knowing it's kind of okay.
Dip Davis, a good friend of ours, used to say, it's the might's wells. As long as we're here, we might as well do this. So
people are always calling us up and asking us where they can find a part, or if this is proper on their airplane, if this piece they have is an original, or how do you find out if this is broken or cracked. And so we're always coming out here with the camera and taking videos of stuff and sending it to them, and here's how you find out about this part. The thing I like about the 120, 140s is they do everything pretty good. They don't do anything great, they don't do one thing fantastic, but you can do just about everything. You can go long distance, you can go hop around the pattern cheaply, you could take the door off and take pictures. It's cold in the winter when you do that, but it does a lot of things really well.
And they're fun, they handle well. What I dislike about them is that over the years it keeps getting smaller and shrinking as I get, well, it just keeps getting smaller, let's just put it that way. And I don't fit in it like I used to, but I still enjoy flying.